Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Flip. Today, guys, we have Dakota Bailey with It's Easy Electronics, right?
Yeah, yes,
So we
sir.
got Dakota here today. He's a direct buyer in the phone flipping space. And we're going to be interviewing him today on how he got into the business, what he's doing now, and what he plans on doing to grow his business in the future. And I got my co-host with me, Matt, today. And we're going to be rocking and rolling. We're going to start off with Dakota, if you want to, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Let everybody know who you
Awesome.
are.
Yeah, I'm Dakota Bailey. I'm a co-owner at Easy Electronics. Do you want me to get into like how I started?
Yeah, let's go. Let's jump right into that.
So Easy, I definitely didn't start with the company name Easy Electronics. It was just a flipping out of my house. I actually got started, I think 5 years ago. I was living out in California with my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time, and we were flat broke. Like I was looking up online, and being broke, it kind of drives you to figure stuff out. So I'm just looking up how to make money online, and I end up finding drop shipping. Have you heard it? You know what drop shipping is.
Yep.
So basically, you can build a store like a Shopify store with no inventory, and it's supposed to be low cost. There's actually some costs involved, like ads and stuff, but that's what I was planning on doing. And I bought a laptop to do that. And after I bought this laptop, I found out that I got it super cheap. And I was like, hey, I'm about to relist this on Marketplace. And if it sells, great. If it doesn't, I'll just keep doing the drop shipping thing. It sold in a couple hours and I doubled my money. And I was like, I'm gonna do this again and I'm gonna still try the drop shipping thing. I bought another laptop and I relisted that too. And that one sold in a day and I made like probably 80% margins on it.
Nice.
And I was like, if I could do this a few times a day, I think I could probably live without even working a job. Um, so I started to pursue that and obviously get interested. And that turned into consoles. And then consoles turned into somebody kind of giving me a peek at David K's course.
Oh, yeah, you
Wasn't,
one of the David
yeah.
K alumni?
I, all honesty, I didn't pay for it.
Oh,
I got access to it back then, but he didn't. The guy that let me check that out, he didn't do anything with it. He kind of just bought the course and didn't really pursue it.
Oh,
I hit the ground running with it, and I knew some people from my hometown that repaired phones and stuff, and I'm just bugging them with questions all day, and eventually I was always scared of phones. Consoles were easy to test. They were easy to see if they worked or didn't work.
yeah.
you know what's funny is the
Phones.
phone flippers think the opposite. They see
Yeah,
consoles.
really?
You see the consoles as difficult. Yeah, very
Yeah, I
interesting.
just heard all this stuff about IMEIs and carrier locked, and it kind of
Right.
freaked me out. But as soon as I jumped in, I started. I was really interested in repairing too, so I was doing repairs out of my house, and it just took off. And for a while, I had odd jobs out there, and that supplemented me. And then I had like a landscaping job one time. I'd get up at 4 in the morning, go to that, and then I'd drive till midnight to go get deals.
Wow.
And
Heck
then
yeah.
I ended up doing bartending, and during bartending, COVID hit, and I got laid off. And I'm like, I don't ever want a job again. Like I'm just gonna take this serious, and I did.
Let's freaking
And
go.
then
That's awesome, dude.
yeah,
That's
and then
great.
eventually moved back to Ohio and found my business partner Devin, and he actually taught me how to turn it into like a real business, and it was a great partnership, and we're still partnered today.
Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome. So,
Mm.
I mean, I want to ask this real quick. Like, you started flipping consoles first,
Mm-hmm.
and you were kind of scared of the phones. So we find ourselves in kind of an opposite position all the time. Like we
Yeah.
have all the phone flippers that are scared to get into consoles because number one, they don't know how to test them. Number two, I don't know, I don't really know what it is. Matt, you kind of deal with that a little bit more than I do. Um,
Yeah.
like what are those fears there, like with the phone flippers? Like a
I
new
th-
person, we don't have that issue at all because they come in, they're kind of ignorant to the fact. that,
Fear of the unknown.
yeah, like the new people don't really have that fear, I've noticed.
Yeah. I
But it's
think for the phone flipping people, it's that when you have a phone, right? This is it. I have this. But
Hmm.
when you have all these other components and various items, I think it just concerns them. I think there's, uncertainty of, how, how am I going to manage all this stuff? Controllers and games and cords and blah blah blah. Testing it, but honestly, like consoles, you don't have to worry about IMEI, identity theft,
yeah,
like all these different things that generally you would with a phone. Um, I don't know. I think if anybody's listening to this and you're phone flipper not wanting to do consoles, like why are you not doing consoles there? I mean, Dakota could tell you, I could tell you, Chris could tell you that they're so much easier in a lot of ways
Yeah.
than reselling phones.
easier to
I,
close, easier to find, more
Yeah,
deals most of the time.
yeah, the people selling consoles really want to get them sold a lot of times.
Yeah.
Um, but I think a lot of the reason too is I, at least I didn't think it was fun flipping wasn't really as public as it is now. It wasn't a
yeah,
hustle that everybody knows like 5, 6 years ago.
true.
You were one of the first people I seen, Chris.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and
Yeah, I was working with
you
Dave, so
were
I kind of had a
mhm,
little, had a little pick me up there. But I was his
yes.
client success director for
But Dave was
two and a
one
half
of the
years.
first guys to really put out a big course, and
Yeah.
um it was a little more hidden, so I didn't really know about it, but I knew how to work a game console. So
Yep.
I think that's what a lot of it was.
Yeah. No, I mean it's funny. So we have a so you got the course basically for free and you took advantage of that. And like
Hmm.
a lot of people I've noticed don't do that. Like,
Hmm.
we put out a good amount of content on the YouTube channel here for the
Hmm.
podcast and just I have a ridiculous amount of videos. And it's funny. There's all this free information out there, especially for flipping phones and everything now. And people just don't take advantage, right?
Yeah.
When the information is literally there. I mean, even when people purchase a course, most of the time they don't take advantage of it. But what I want to ask you real quick, why did you take, you know, advantage of that knowledge when you got it? Like, is it because you kind of fell into the industry first, and then you were like, oh crap, I can make money, and then you actually found a way to make it
Hmm.
happen more often, more instances where you buy and sell. Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah. So I did kind of fall into the industry, and I was trying to figure out ways to scale, and it was really a blessing that he reached out to me, seeing me post all these consoles and stuff. And I think the price of the course had me interested too. The fact that I just kind of got blessed with this, and yeah, I just wanted to scale and grow and figure out everything I could about like eBay, and I was in a really good market, so I the desire to grow and not be broke was a big motivator too. So I had a
I
I
hear that.
had a family. We were living with her parents, and California Palm Springs is super expensive. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to build us up to the point of getting our own place and
Yeah, I
stuff
think
like that. So
that is for sure one of the biggest things is like just being broke. You know, I
yeah,
remember whenever I first started in the business, I had $200. Wife was
that's what I
pregnant.
started with too. I borrowed it
Yeah,
from my mom.
yeah. My wife was
Wow.
pregnant. I remember, I was also a server. I wasn't a bartender, but I was a server at a restaurant called Papados, and we had a hurricane or it was a tropical storm or something. Either way, everything was flooded, and we couldn't do anything. I couldn't work, couldn't make money. $200 in the
Hmm.
bank account, and I started surfing the web, and that's when I ran across Dave's ebook, where it was like, "Hey, you can flip electronics and um, make money." And I was like, "Well, that sounds like something I can do."
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
first two phones I ever bought were iCloud locked, but
Yeah, you gotta.
learned what that
I
meant.
say you gotta get burned to learn.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. I'm writing that down. I like that. I'm gonna quote that with Dakota Bailey. Got to get burned to learn.
It's true. Like all the guys that I try to help get off the ground, they always get hit some way, but that when it hurts your pockets, you learn.
It's for no, that's it. It's we have a student who I talk about pretty often now. His name is Navon. You might work with him at this point or know of him.
Devon.
Navon, yeah.
I don't know.
Starts with an N. But he joined Recelerator, and one of his first deals he bought a fake iPhone for quite a few
We had an
$100.
employee that did that for $800 a couple months
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Oh man.
And
Mhm.
he messaged me and he was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if this business is
Mm.
right for me. And like, you kind of have to talk him off the ledge at that point.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
like,
literally.
hey, dude, it was just an $800 learning opportunity. Like, you'll be okay. Like, just
Yeah.
you'll never do it again now.
Yeah.
I was like, keep the
You'll
phone.
True that.
learn what to look for.
So like whenever I come across like newer fake phones, like I let people
Hmm.
know like that I'm buying like I'm gonna buy it from them. Be for like $100. That way I can have something to compare it to because some of them are getting really good.
Yeah.
I actually bought a fake Samsung a few months ago.
Oh
Oh,
It
wow.
was so good that I
I
couldn't
remember
believe
that.
it. There was the only difference you could tell was there was a slight delay that a Samsung shouldn't
Hmm.
have,
Yeah.
and that was the only thing. And I
It's got the Android operating system too. It probably
yeah,
did look
I
pretty
couldn't tell. I was like, there's something off with this phone. Like, but I can't
the
tell what it
waves.
is. Like it reset,
Yeah.
did everything it was supposed to.
Yeah,
Um,
we still have the 15. It was a 15 Pro Max. He bought it after hours, which he definitely shouldn't have been doing. Um, New employee, and we
Oh,
still have it on the shelf. It looks really real. Like if
yeah,
I didn't know phones, I would probably fall for it too.
bought it after hours, like after store hours, or
Yeah, it was after 5, and he was there by himself. He
oh,
broke a
okay.
bunch of rules that we told him not to do. So
oh, great.
yeah,
That's why you
he's not
follow
with
the SOP, right?
he's not with the company anymore. That
Oh,
wasn't the
well,
reason. That wasn't the reason, but yeah, it was just a mistake.
Yeah, of course.
man.
But I mean, that's how you come up in the game, though, right? Like you have to make those mistakes sometimes.
Mm.
Yeah.
He thought he was doing well. He thought he was just getting a deal and
Yeah.
gonna make some money. So,
Yeah. I mean, we see it all the time. I call it the valley of despair. I have a little
mm,
chart that I have people go through to kind of figure out where they are. It kind of starts off like you start with this new opportunity, right? You're
hmm.
excited. You get that
Yeah.
burst of excitement when you flip your first device.
Hmm.
Then you kind of go over the hump a little bit, and then you start realizing, holy crap, I got to start marketing for this business.
Yeah.
I got to start doing stuff to get more people in, kind of deal. And
Hmm.
and then you realize it's not as easy as you thought, you know, because you might have gotten that first deal by just being excited and you're on that little high.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to what we call the valley of despair, is where they have their first loss, right? And it always happens in any business. You're going to have some sort of loss in the beginning that's going to shape how you move forward.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and like I tell people, you either have to get through you either have to do it through experience or you have to do it through learning. The faster
Yeah.
you learn, the easier it is to get through.
For sure.
Or if you have somebody that can kind of guide you, it
Hmm.
makes that a little bit easier to get through. But yeah, I mean, and then it's kind of a make or break situation at that point. Like, can you do this business or not? And then if they can't, they just move to another opportunity, and the cycle continues.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like they just keep going in
Seen a lot of
circles
it.
between new opportunities. Kind of like what you talked about drop shipping. That's one of the ones that phone flippers fall into a lot of the time, trying to find an easier path
Hmm.
all the time.
There's,
Like, oh, I don't
this
have
is
to.
a super, if you're in like a decent market, this is a super easy. Like you don't find many better opportunities than this. Like,
Agree.
yeah, there's stuff that the market's down right now, and there's stuff out there that you can make more money on, like if you know how to do real estate or something, but the barrier to entry in this market is very low.
Yeah.
um, you might need like a $1,000 to do decent,
Mm-hmm.
just because phones are so expensive nowadays. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's super low barrier. You just have to put in some work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what some people just don't realize, in the beginning.
Hmm.
But so we're talking about kind of getting started and everything, but I want to move to how did you go from local phone flipper to what you're doing now, like direct buyer type deal?
Hmm.
Like how did that
Yes.
transpire?
So I moved back to my hometown like 3 years ago back in Ohio. And I kind of came back with nothing. Whole different story for a different day, but I moved back to Ohio alone for about 4 months, and I moved in with a friend, and I was like broke again. But I had a client base in my hometown. Knew how to run ads. I had a little bit of cash, and I just really focused on building it back up. And it got to the point where my wife moved back with me, and we got our own place. And I'm growing to the point where I either need more cash or I need more hands.
Yeah.
And I, my business partner now, I reached out to him for a loan, and he offered me a partnership. And it's been kind of a roller coaster since then, but it's been steadily going up.
Yeah.
And guys, just he had ran a couple businesses and knew the ins and outs, and he knew like um he loved doing like software and accounting and stuff like that. So he implemented like a POS system, and it was just a really good partnership. He has strengths where I have weaknesses, so
Yeah.
it kind of grew from there.
Yeah. I've spoken with
And
him.
then,
Good guy.
oh yeah, I think you have, um, or I remember when you did, and yeah, it's uh, we got into direct buying kind of on accident. We kind of sat down, and talked about it, and we're like, who's the leader in this industry? And I was like, Atlas.
Yep.
That's who everybody knows. And
They
he's like,
absolutely
okay,
are.
how do we become Atlas? And it kind of took off.
Gotcha, dude. That's awesome. So, what does it look like nowadays? Like, how much are you moving, or how many devices you guys moving per month? What does all that look like? Um,
um, we're doing, I can't remember how many devices, but it's about 350,000 a month in
nice.
revenue.
It's awesome.
Um, Margins
What do
are
you
kind
guys
of lower this
specialize in?
time of year, but mostly used stock. Honestly, I take a lot of new inbox and break even on it just to keep it moving.
I tell
Um,
people that all the time,
yeah,
and they never believe
it's
me. Like,
it's I yeah, people try to squeeze me for every dollar on new inbox, and I'm like, dude, I'm really not making nothing on this,
yeah,
but I'll take it just to keep your business. But
I
Right.
say that for everybody in the back that wants to become a direct buyer that reaches out to me. It's like, I want to become a direct buyer and buy
uh,
only new inbox and make 50 per unit, and I'm like, bro,
I
who have no idea what you're talking
Oh, that's painful.
about.
That's painful.
I seen like 15K invoices and we make $100 on it, or
Dude.
we've lost on stuff like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
My
But
favorite thing to buy is broken all day long.
hmm,
Broken stuff because
yeah, me too.
it's so much more profitable.
Hmm.
Ridiculous. Like
Stuff.
even the B stock stuff, like is is not as profitable as broken. Like
No,
cracked,
you're right.
especially if you can fix and flip. I don't fix and flip,
Mm.
um, but if you know how, like I got
Yeah.
some students that have that experience and they fix and
Hmm.
flip, and it's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah, it's
margins that
really
they
good
can make up
margins.
with. And like I'm telling people, because everybody reaches out to me and they're like, Chris, what if I just drop ship the B grade phones? And I'm just like, why don't you just do the way that works, bro? Like,
Hmm.
why don't you just run some ads and
The
talk to
proven
people?
method, yeah,
Like,
literally. Just put yourself out there.
nobody wants to talk to people?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's one thing that helped me build. I printed like 500 or 1,000 business cards, and I'm literally handing them out at McDonald's, at Walmart. Um,
Yeah,
if I'm going to get food somewhere, I'm handing a card out, and then I was hitting every store in town, just trying to network. Like you got to put yourself out there.
yeah, 100%. I think that's one thing that people just don't realize in the business is like you have to talk to people, yeah, especially
Hmm.
in a local market. Like once you have like a reputation, it's a little different.
Hmm.
You can start playing in the Facebook groups and you can start,
Yeah.
getting the mail-in stuff, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people I talk to, they're always talking about like, I want mail-ins, I want mail-ins. And I'm like, well, how many followers do you have?
Yeah.
Oh, none. Oh, nobody knows you. Like
Right.
Takes capital too.
I mean, a
It's
good
a
example of
capital
this is
intensive
actually
thing.
Feldon. Like Feldon has
Mm-hmm.
a massive following on Instagram, on TikTok, on all of this, and that gives
Mm-hmm.
him a lot of leeway when it comes to getting mail-ins. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a level of trust there that he's built that a lot of direct buyers don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous actually. Um, I think he's up to, I think it was 99,000 followers last time I saw on Instagram.
Wow.
like,
That's
like
insane.
that
Yeah.
builds a lot of trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just him sharing about the business and repairs. And I don't know what it is, but he's really good at sharing the repair stuff. So
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of cool
Yeah,
to
I've
watch
seen he
him.
definitely has a knack for it. I've seen his ads pop up and stuff. I'll have to follow
Yeah.
him.
But so you guys are moving about 350,000 a month in that.
Mm-hmm.
Um what do you like better, the local stuff or the all the mail-in stuff? What's your favorite one?
I would love to capitalize on like a if we had a big local market, but we don't. We're in a kind of small town. It's like 35,000 people, and we actually have our tech running the repair side, and we funnel all the ad stuff to him. He's commission based, so he gets
Heck yeah.
to eat off those. So yeah, if I seen you had Brandon Schumer on.
Yeah, Brandon's awesome, dude.
If I was in a market like his, because we work with him,
Nice.
Right on.
he's killing it with local
He's
stuff.
ridiculously
It's
like just
crazy. Yeah,
murdering it. I
yeah.
was
Yeah.
talking to
His
him the other day about some stuff, and yeah, he's killing it. Like
hmm
I have access to his like resale deck stuff, and I'm just like, gosh, dude, this is stupid. Like
and he's
this dude is
19.
just
That's so
like, I'm
wild.
always having to recharge freaking phone number credits for that man, like because he's just talking to so many people every day. It's
Wow.
ridiculous. Um, but I mean,
He likes to learn too. I mean, he's
oh
hustling
yeah,
for it. So
yeah,
he's
absolutely. He's always messaging
picks
me
my
about new stuff. Yeah,
tries to pick my brain, and he takes call notes in our messages, and he
yeah,
definitely likes
yeah. I
to
trained his
learn.
team a while back too. Um, we he paid me for a couple of months to train his team on sales calls. And
Awesome.
one thing I noticed that with especially people in the local market, is people don't like, especially phone flippers, they just don't make offers fast enough. Like
hmm
I do a lot of mock phone calls with my clients, and like where I pretend to be the customer, and I'll
Yeah.
tell them what device I have, and they go through this like spiel of like, what company is it with? What's the battery health percentage? What's this? What's that? They ask like 20 questions. And I'm just like,
hmm
bro, just get the device and get what's wrong with it and make an offer. Like, stop beating
Carrier
around the bush.
carrier. Yeah, get the
Like,
carrier and get the condition. That's all you need.
I don't
Because
even
if
ask the
you
carrier anymore. Like, I just stopped doing
really
that. I just stopped doing it.
do,
I
you
just
just
assume
quote
it's
on
carrier
carrier
locked.
locked.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
And
Then
me
you're
and
happy
Aaron,
when
yeah, we just assume now that it's carrier locked. And if it's,
mhm.
and that it gives us another question, right?
Yeah, if
Like,
they
we just lowball the hell out of them. Like, and they're like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Oh, my bad. Like, sorry. What company is it with? Oh, it's unlocked. Oh, my bad." And they go up by
oh, I
$100.
can offer you. Yeah. And then they're
Makes them feel
happy.
like they're
Yeah.
winning the conversation.
hmm
Um,
So funny.
yeah. I mean, I did that with somebody the other day. I actually did it live on a call, I think last week with somebody. But I want to go back real quick. You said the town you're in, it's 35,000 people.
hmm
I want to talk about that real quick because we have a lot of people all the time that complain about how they don't have a big enough area to be successful in this business. Can you speak to that a little bit? Like,
Yeah, don't be afraid to promote the crap out of yourself on your personal Facebook. That's what I did for a long time. I was making posts. I'm into like graphic design a little bit too, just like you've probably heard of Canva.
mhm,
Yeah.
I
yep,
would make my own ads on there all the time and post on my stories, and I'm posting on Snapchat and Instagram, and making local posts, and probably lost some followers from it, but I didn't care.
yeah.
I was using those apps to build a business, not to make friends. So
I love
Right
it.
on.
So, in a town of 35,000 people, um, We have another person who I think you guys might have worked with him before, Alex. Um, he's in Kokomo, Indiana.
What's his last name? I
Uh,
think so.
losing his, I can't remember the name at the,
Vasquez.
no.
Vasquez.
Um, I can't remember his name at the moment. It'll come to me. Anyway, he's in a really small town in Kokomo, Indiana, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of same thing. He's been doing this for 4 years or 5 years now, and small town, just kept plugging away. You know, I had him make friends with all his pawn shops, all the repair shops, freaking everybody. And
Yeah,
that's what you got
it's
to do in those small towns. You got to make
mhm,
friends with everybody, like
literally.
all the competitors. Um, but I've also noticed that in the local market, I did a poll a while back. I found out that most of the local phone flippers, repair shops, stuff like that, they don't sell online. It's like 2 out of 10 that sell online. And I was
Wow.
like, and like that ship stuff, you know,
It blows my mind when businesses don't ship online.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
I
Hmm.
guess people hate money.
yeah, right.
Yeah. I went into a nutrition shop not too long ago, and the dude said he doesn't sell online. I'm like, what? Are
Yeah.
you have a store in here waiting for people to just walk in, hopefully from the gym next door, but there's a whole market online that you could sell into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My next door neighbor sells supplements. He doesn't own a store. He doesn't own a gym or anything. He just sells
Yeah, you
supplements.
don't.
He's
That's
telling,
awesome.
we meet taking the garbage out all the time. He's like, yeah, I sold 15 today, and I'm just like,
That's awesome.
that's amazing, dude. Like
Yeah,
if
but
if he can sell supplements, you can.
yeah, as
Straight
far
up.
as like being in a small market, like I don't care if you got 10,000 people in your town. That's 10,000 people that probably have a phone.
Yep.
Um, you just have to get out there and talk to them, like you said. So
Yeah, we get a lot of people like that all the time that just think that there's not enough opportunity in the area. And really what it just comes down to is they're just too lazy to talk to enough people to make the opportunity
mhm.
happen. Right.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think 500 or it might even be 1,000 business cards from Office Depot are like
Yeah.
$40, and you can just commit to 3 to 6 months of talking to every single person you can, and I guarantee you get results from that. So
Straight up.
One thing
and
I
follow up
noticed
with
is,
people too.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
One thing I've noticed with phone flippers is there's like one per every 100,000 people. Like
Hmm.
that's one thing I've noticed just doing this over time and running ads for hundreds of accounts is I've just noticed there's usually one per 100K people,
Wow,
which is a good
that's
number, right? Like,
yeah.
we're still very minority, but out of those people, most of them don't sell online. Most of them don't even know what direct buyers are, which is
Hmm.
wild. Um, so I've actually made a point to reach out to a lot of those people on Marketplace, um, trying to get them weaved into the industry a little bit, like get to know
It's a good
people a little
idea.
more. Um, but I want to go back to the small town thing here real quick before we move to the higher end DB stuff. Um, the one thing that I like about the small towns is you can become the guy, like
Yeah,
the,
I
the
was
guy.
about to say that. I'm glad you did. It's super easy to blow your competition out of the water. Like
Yeah,
literally just do what you're supposed to do and treat people good, and
yeah,
keep your word and respond quickly, and it's super easy. Like a lot of the people in my town, even the people that I helped like or that I learned from, they do kind of shady business. They lowball you, or try to squeeze you for an extra dollar because they don't care about the future business from you.
yep.
Um, Crappy repairs, stuff like that. It wasn't hard to be the best, and I'm not even bragging. Like it wasn't hard to be the best in our area because usually your competition isn't much competition. Like they don't have anybody that has done what they've done that'll
Oh, the
come in
bar's
and
so low.
welcome. Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
if you, I tell my students all the time, and I made it a point yesterday because yesterday, or I guess 2 days ago now, I made an offer on an iPad for
Mhm.
$100, iPad fourth gen. And then I asked what else she had. Like,
Yeah.
what else do you have? Like I upsell all the time. This is something Dave
It's an
taught
important, it's an
religiously.
important question. Yeah.
Yeah, Dave taught this all the time, and like I've taken it a step further and just like I hammer people. Like go to your
Hmm.
house, find your stuff, bring it with you. You know. I was
That's
like,
Or
awesome.
whatever you can think of, bring it with you. She ended up bringing
hey,
Beats headphones, an Apple keyboard, a MacBook, and AirPods. I actually have the AirPods right here. They're engraved, but they're worth something, you know.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but like that's something I have to. It's so easy to beat your competition in your area by number
Hmm.
one, responding to your leads, number two,
Hmm.
following up with your leads, and number three, buying more things outside of iPhones. Because if you buy more things outside of iPhones, you become more valuable to that customer, right?
Hmm.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, think about it. If they're at a party or something, somebody breaks their phone or breaks something, be like, "Hey, I know a guy that'll buy that."
Yeah,
Like that's where the stuff comes in that people don't realize.
for sure.
Um, but that's how you beat
I'm
people.
being, yeah, I'm just being consistent. A lot of people aren't consistent. They'll blow all their money or they'll fall off for a time, and that's when you come in and do better.
Yeah. Well, that's why we make a big point of buying game consoles because it's so easy to get in with people because they'll
Yeah.
remember you forever
Uh,
at that point. Once you start paying
yeah,
more than
and
GameStop,
yeah, literally.
which isn't
People will come
difficult.
at you
Let's be
with, yeah,
real.
no,
that
it's
hard.
not. Mhm.
They're like, where are they going to go? You know, now like they know that you pay more than GameStop every time now, so it's like
Yeah,
they're always going to come back. And one thing we've tapped big time is the VR
I've
market
seen
is
that. You can piece them out, can't you? I still haven't
yeah.
done much of that,
We're yeah, I mean Matt is the console king over here. He's so good at it.
but
And like he finds 15 to 20 deals in people's area on the onboarding call. It's stupid. Like
wow.
how much stuff is just sitting there on marketplace? It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy. Um,
That's that was a big thing for me getting started too. Like if you do sell on marketplace, obviously like you want to move your money as fast as possible if you have a direct buyer or you want to
yeah.
sell on eBay and get it going. But if you do sell on marketplace, where I killed it at with consoles was I would find like beat up, crappy looking ads and then just go home and wipe the consoles off, clean my camera lens off before I took the picture, put some lighting on it and take a better picture of it. And something that sat for 3 weeks on marketplace and didn't sell, I sold in 3 hours,
Yep.
um, just with a nice listing. So stuff
Yeah.
like that makes a big difference too.
Yeah. People really like that. What I try to tell students is like try to create your stuff so it feels like a turnkey experience. Like if you can get that
Mm-hmm.
as close to like a retail-esque,
Yeah.
situation, you're going to make more money than the next guy. And it's not too difficult to clean it a little better, to put it in better lighting, to take a better photo.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, I made more than, people will be like, oh, it's only selling for this on eBay. Be like, okay, well, mine just sold for $40 more. So
Yeah,
tell me why mine's doing
literally.
better. So I love that, man. I think that's awesome. I'm curious, Dakota, you said you moved back to Ohio and kind of had to like re-up and like start over. It seems I feel like, from we talk a lot about the practicals, a lot about the facts, but I
Mm-hmm.
think between Chris and I, sometimes one of the things I really enjoy talking with resellers and business people about is the intangibles that are necessary to keep people in the game or, kind of
Yeah.
interaction point with their business.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel? What was it like? A couple questions here. I'll ask you the first one. What was it like, or what would you say to people that are scared of stepping out and feel like there's a lot of fear that we deal with students where it's like, oh, I'm going to lose everything, which to you, on your end, it sounds like maybe you kind of did and you had to start over. But
Mm-hmm.
the experience there seems like maybe it helped you to make that transition that time around a lot easier. Could you kind of speak to that for a second? What was it like moving back to, your hometown and feeling like maybe you had to start over? How did that challenge you and what were maybe some of the obstacles you felt like you had to overcome?
Yeah, this the skills like you said you wanted to know like the skills needed for that.
Um, yeah, what was it
Or
like navigating that process? And I guess what convinced you to kind of stay on the bike rather than just quitting and going back to a traditional job or situation like that?
Just because I've seen how promising this business could be, and I've always like ran Facebook ads, and there's always leads flowing in if you do them right. And
Yeah.
that was a huge thing for me, was to get those running right away.
Hmm.
And I was hungry. Like I had a bone to pick with life. That was kind of a rough patch in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just buckled down and took this, like I said, the self promotion really serious. I was reaching out left and right, making posts left and right on Marketplace, um, and then scouring ads and even scouring like surrounding towns. Like if I wasn't getting leads, I'm looking in cities around me.
Yeah.
And if I'm not making any money today, I'll go drive for $50. Like,
Yep.
Let's go. I'm saying.
yeah. So
Yeah.
just
So
being
it works
hungry.
if you work it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
No,
That's good.
Talking to
that's
everybody you
definitely the
can.
way it works. Like I tell
Hmm.
people that all the time. Like if you put the numbers up, like your bank account will follow suit, kind of thing.
Hmm.
You know, like we in Recelerator now since we've automated reach outs on Marketplace, Facebook, Google, like there's no excuse at this point to
Hmm.
why somebody can't be in 50 conversations a day. Like there's
Yeah, it's over 100 some days.
yeah. I mean our automation software now sends, you can send 50 to 70 a day, just
Mhm.
reach
Hmm.
outs automatically just by pressing a button. And it's like you don't have excuses now. You just have to talk to people, kind of thing.
Literally.
Um, so, um, but like we see the difference between people who have it and who don't now. Like,
Hmm.
like you can have all the tools in the world and still suck, or you can have all the tools in the world and
Learn
do very well.
Learning sales and negotiations help too. I was
I agree.
studying
Yeah.
a lot on that in the beginning. I was reading sales books, I was reading negotiation books because I realized I wasn't deals were coming in, but I couldn't close them. Um,
Hmm.
so that was a place that I hit hard on too.
Yeah. Um, as far as where your business was and where it is now, um, what do you think are maybe like just some other characteristics that have kept you focused and staying the course? Resilience is just such a big thing, in my opinion, in
Hmm.
this industry. And so uh, I'm curious, like, what are kind of the common motivators that really keep you focused on what's ahead of you?
Having good business partners, because Devin's not my only partner in Easy. That has been very helpful.
Mhm.
Knowing that there's other people that are counting on the business besides myself, my family,
Yeah,
and stuff like that has just been really helpful. And we've had our ups and downs, but
yeah,
um, it's just I I've always had that drive to like keep things going, but I am a procrastinator too. Um, I do well under pressure, and I'll kind of sometimes I hurt myself, and I'll let it dip a little bit, and then feel that pressure and bring it back. But yeah, having good people around me to keep it consistent has been really helpful.
yeah. So nothing wrong with some healthy accountability, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if it weren't for the collaboration between Chris and myself, like, I mean,
Hmm.
we've both talked about like at the end of the day, this is a good, I think, enterprise. I think it's a good money making enterprise, but it's
Hmm.
also sometimes just boring.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, it can be. I hate looking at spreadsheets, but that's what I do every day now. So
Right. And that first phone flip feels sexy. And
hmm.
when you make that first grand, it feels great. And then you're just like swimming in a sea of electronics. And you're
Hmm.
like, my house looks like Best Buy. What is going on over here in this corner? Um, and so getting that kind of stuff organized and what I think is interesting is I heard a story once about the rapper Eminem, and he was doing a collab with somebody else, and he showed up to the studio, and like 5 o'clock hit, and he like was like, "All right, man, see you tomorrow," and he
Yeah,
left the
no, that's big.
studio.
I've
He
heard that
left the
story.
studio like it was a job. Like he went to the
Hmm.
studio and he left the studio like it was a job. And the dude was like, "What? You don't just record late into the night?" And
Hmm.
are there any specific disciplines like that that you've sort of centered your life around that have helped to sustain your business and make it more profitable?
Honestly, man, I'm dealing with that right now. I'm actually trying to be very ritualistic with my schedule because I've never it kind of comes and goes. I'll stick to it, and but then the next week I'm working until 10 o'clock at night. Now I'm trying to cut it short at like 6 p.m.
Hmm.
Hard to
Um,
do. I still do
yeah, it
that.
is hard
Like
to do.
I'm
And I
a
work with
I work at night. I work very well at night,
me too.
and I have a problem with that. I don't work well in the morning. I get too distracted, I guess.
Hmm.
Like I can wake up early and everything, and but I just won't get anything done. Like
Hmm.
weird, man.
Well, 5 o'clock seems to be my sweet spot when everybody goes home and I get less texts and I honestly shut that part of my brain off. Like, I'm not responding to you right now. I need to build this stock list. I need to um, get this stuff organized.
Yeah.
But I've been getting up earlier around like 6. I'll get started at 6 or 7 and work for a couple hours before 9 before we even open
Hmm.
and not respond to any messages during that time. And that's been helpful. But as far as like feeling overwhelmed with, you said your house looks like Best Buy, definitely take the steps to organize before you feel like you fully need it yet, because you don't, it's super hard to go backwards and change. And
True
what you'll
that.
do is you'll start weighing yourself down and just doing
Yeah.
it the same way over and over, and you'll just put more time in.
That's good.
um yeah, start organizing sooner than later. Wholesale.io, that was a
Yeah.
game changer for us. I don't know, do you guys use that?
Uh, I don't. Aaron might. Aaron
Mm-hmm.
runs the direct buying part of our stuff. I don't handle all
Yeah.
of that.
I
Yeah,
I
know I
it's
know people that do use it.
I
Yeah.
hate inventory.
yeah, it's a super good, like, it's not a good POS system. We had to force it to work for POS for the shop and stuff, but it's a amazing inventory system for what we do. Even for consoles and stuff, you can create any SKU, any um thing like that. You can connect it to eBay. And they have like preloaded stuff for most of the Apple and Samsung phones.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
then you can download the spreadsheets and copy it to a Google Sheet. And that was a huge game changer for us a couple years ago, because we had jumped through a bunch of POS systems that did not work for our industry at all.
Hmm.
Not many that do.
Um, and spreadsheets only work so far. Like, I look at people that use spreadsheets for everything now, and they build in like I forget what they call it, the codes on there
Man, I
to
had to
do
build a crazy spreadsheet. Like, took
it.
what,
Hmm.
5 iterations, Matt?
Yeah, we
Like
have a
to
lot
finally
of
get
them.
it to pull
Yeah.
from inventory.
Yeah.
Wild.
Chris was treating is like a child, is like his other kid for a while there. He's just like,
Devin did the same thing with Sheets. He became a wizard at Sheets.
Yeah.
Didn't know, didn't even hadn't even used Google Sheets until we partnered, and now he knows them inside and out.
that's
Well, dude,
cool.
Um,
I got to get rolling soon because I got to go buy some phones. But
okay.
what's the future look like for Easy?
Right now, um, we're just keeping it steady. Uh, we actually had, like, you might have talked to Devin about it. We had kind of a blip in our business plan that we decided not to do, with like doing marketing for people and all types of stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I thought you guys
Decided,
were doing, was there the automation thing, the marketing and closing?
yeah, we
Yeah,
just
that stuff
decided
is
against it.
tough, dude.
It
Like
yeah, you
we
end up.
looked into it too. I will say
Hmm.
that. And I was like, I don't really want to be your business babysitter over here. Like,
Yeah, and that's
if you
what I.
can't meet up after I close a deal, we're not going to do deals together. Like,
Hmm.
Yeah.
or you're running out of money. What?
Yeah, and it started to damage relationships that were good before that. Um, we just decided against it. So right now we're just literally just keeping it steady,
Yeah.
Hmm.
trying to build back up and just keep being the best direct buyer we can be, because we didn't, being in multiple areas, you start being worse at each area.
Yeah.
When if you just focus on one path, you can grow that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Awesome, dude. Well, what's your contact information? Like, where can people find you? I'll put this in the first comment below as
mhm.
well, on YouTube. But like, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me under my personal name on Facebook, Dakota Bailey. You can find our business page on Facebook. Um, you, the sheet link, a lot of people in the groups can find it. I'll send it to you.
Cool. Perfect.
Right
Put it in
on.
the description. Yeah, I'm always, even if I'm not working, I'm usually pretty good at answering. So
You guys want to start buying game consoles and VR? We're
Yeah.
still
I
looking
would
for a direct buyer.
definitely open to looking at it, but I know
We got
the
a lot, so let us know.
There's a
My,
market.
yeah, send me a list. I'd quote anything. So
my students, our students, they pack it in with the consoles and VR. We're always there's so many. I don't know what do you think we move now through the group, Matt? Probably a good man. It's probably a good 50K a month just from consoles and VR, huh?
wow.
Sales, maybe even
Yeah,
more.
I mean, what we've got, I would say 30 to 40 pretty steady resellers, and those guys in consoles are probably doing a minimum of one to 3,000 in console sales per month. So
Might be more. Yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
there's a big market there. We thought about doing direct buyer for it, but we don't have the capacity. We're just going to kind of stay in our lane.
Hmm.
We're good at teaching. We're good at automating. We're good at all that
yeah,
stuff. So we're just going to kind of stay in that lane. Um, and
Yeah, I would, if there's opportunity there, I'd definitely
yeah,
like to talk about it.
get a list of what we. Well, Matt, you have a pricing sheet, so we can just send that over. Actually, I mean,
yes, I do.
Awesome.
he's
Sounds
got a
good.
sheet that literally says like what you should pay for something and what it's going to sell for. Like,
Do you
We
update
gotta,
that manually?
what's
yeah,
that?
it takes like
You
Yeah.
update that manually every day?
Yeah, no, every 4 to 6 weeks, because consoles don't
Okay.
fluctuate quite as much as phones. If it were
Hmm.
phones, I'd be doing it weekly, but consoles, we can
yeah,
keep
it
it a little
doesn't
more
fluctuate
tame.
nearly as
Yeah,
much.
that's good too. They don't fluctuate unless new ones come out.
Yeah,
More or less, yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
they probably get. I mean, phones lose what 10% of their value every month, whereas consoles it's probably more
It's
like
been bad lately, man.
yeah, lately. Yeah, there's another phone flipping apocalypse happening right now. You
The
know.
last two last 2 to 3 weeks, I just dumped everything at cost, just trying to get it off my hands so I didn't hurt too bad in a month.
Wow.
Well, it's good connecting, man. We'll have to do this again, and yeah, we'll throw
Definitely.
your information in the first comment below. That way, it doesn't get removed or anything. Everybody watching this, first comment, you can see a sheet where to contact him, all that good stuff. And Dakota, it's been good having you on, man.
Awesome. It's been an honor to be on. I appreciate it.
See
Thanks, brother.
Talk to you later.